Hi everyone, morning. Happy, what day is it today? It is Thursday morning, 6 a.m. And yes, I have done my hair. Look, I was asked to come on here today and speak about a food methodology that has taken the world by storm. Something I put together 7 years ago that we have been formulating into a methodology and a program for the last, probably the last 2 or 3 years. We've been really prolific with it, and it's a program that has launched across Australia, New Zealand, and now made its way to America, the United States, and even Europe. And I think the reason why this program has just taken off so much is that it is so simple, and it makes anyone who's trying to learn about food, really simplify the whole message of nutrition. And before I start, I really want to just say thanks for jumping on, everybody. I know that a lot of people still be sleeping, but anyone that jumps on over the course of the day, I really appreciate your time for listening in. My name is Natalie Baldock. I'm an IIN food coach. I've been in the health industry since I was 26. Came from a big love and passion as a ex-swimmer. And I started off in the fitness industry and moved over to the food industry very quickly, understanding that food actually was 80% of who we are. And it became a huge passion of mine, particularly because I actually got over my own health issues by understanding food and the mechanics of the body. And so what I really would like to do is share the story about how to plate up actually came about. And How to Plate Up was an idea. It was only an idea. And it was like, how do I teach other people how to food combine correctly in the most simplistic way to feed all systems of the body every time we eat within their own nutrition structure? And what I love about How to Plate Up, the methodology, is that it's not for just vegans or vegetarians or pescatarians or anyone on the keto diet or the paleo diet. It's for all of those people. And the reason why is because we simply swap out the proteins and we food combine in a way to serve three systems of the body. So the human body is made up of the digestive system, the nervous system, and the immune system. And of course there's other systems, but these three systems are the systems that need to be initially fed. So the digestive system can produce a digestive process to get nutrition into the rest of the body. And so when we look at digestion, we look at nervous health, and we look at immune health. They're all linked, and they're all linked in a way. It looks like a triangle, and we call this the vitality triangle. And for anybody, hey Marnie, how are you? Hi Rach, how are you? Can't believe you girls are up. It's still dark outside. Morning, Shannon. This methodology is really so simple. So if you were to go to a pharmacist and you were to say to the pharmacist, I need to get healthy and I want to do it in the most natural way, can you please show me what supplementation or nutraceuticals would I need for myself to be very healthy? And the pharmacist would say these things. You need a probiotic for your gut health. You need an oil, maybe a fish oil or a vegan oil for your nervous health and your brain health and your heart health. And then you're going to need a multivitamin or a multivitamin for your immune health. Now, when I heard this for the first time, I thought, how can we do this with food? So I wrote this program based on these things, and I knew that these three systems tied in with each other, because if you don't have a calm central nervous system, your digestion doesn't work. So therefore the digestion's off. And if you don't feed the digestive system with the right pre and probiotic based foods and all your macronutrition, what happens is when you eat your micronutrition, which is good for your immune health, you don't digest well. And so it's this triangle. It was a base of, I've got to get calm, I've got to digest well so I can digest things that are good for me. And so the body can sort out the good from the bad. And this was profound. So I thought to myself, okay, how do I do this? And I thought, the central nervous system needs breath, it needs water, and it needs good quality omega-3 fatty acids predominantly. So I started to look at the best sources of omega-3 fatty acids. I started to look at the best sources of fatty acids in totality. And we came up with a concept and a recipe list for the best fats on the planet. We made that a column. Then we looked at what is the best digestive foods, what are the best foods for digestion, and we looked at the prebiotic foods and the probiotic foods. We looked at the proteins, we looked at the plants, we looked at the whole kingdom, and we noticed that things like kimchis and sauerkrauts and kefir yogurts and kombuchas were good for the digestive system. But we also noticed that macronutrition was also good for digestion too. So, you know, eating things that filled us up and kept us satiated for a long time. So we wrote a category of foods for the digestion. And then lastly, we looked at, well, what does the immune system need? And the immune system needs so much. The immune system needs a plethora of plants. It needs mostly green, because when you look out into nature, Mother Nature is telling us exactly what we need to do every day. She's saying, look, I need air, I need water, and I need green plants for survival. And if you look at any animal, big animal on the planet, strong and muscular, like things like gorillas, and you look at elephants, for example, they're mostly vegetarian. And they'll eat greens and they'll rotate their grains, because green nutrition is really full of mineral nutrition. It's a great builder for muscles, muscle growth, muscle stability, muscle endurance, and this is really important to understand, is that green nutrition is everything. There is no mistake that we have a green smoothie revolution for a reason. And so green smoothies, green juices, green salads, green veg, once or twice a day is fantastic. So anyway, we started to build an immune list of foods, and it was really the plant kingdom, and we started to categorize these. So what we did is we actually came up with a concept where you pick your protein, you pick your fat, and you pick your plants in this beautiful order. And what we found is that every time we fed our bodies like this 3 times a day, up to 6 times a day, we found that people had an increased amount of energy, their skin got better, their hair got thicker and stronger, they inherently might lose or put on weight and go back to a more natural body weight for them. We found that inflammation was reduced, and we found that general happiness, which is what this page is all about, became a part of normal life. And I can't begin to explain to you, after thousands and thousands of coaching clients and using this simple methodology, how many lives have changed for the better. And you can be vegan, vegetarian, you can be paleo, you can be keto, you can be pescatarian, you can have any kind of FODMAP, dietary requirement, and we can modify for you within the program. And so that's what we find fascinating, is that, there is a methodology for one whole population, but there isn't a diet that suits one whole population. The whole planet couldn't be one thing, It's near on impossible to be that, especially geographically. I mean, it's very hard to say to somebody who lives in the North or the South Pole, you have to be vegan and have your green smoothies every day, when nothing grows there. And they really, truly, in that environment, in that cold weather, they need lots of animal fat to run through their nervous system to protect their digestive and immune systems. As somebody who might live in the central desert of Australia, like an Indigenous person that lives in central desert, they're not going to find leafy, light greens. They're going to find rodents. They're going to find reptiles. They're going to find, bush tucker, which is hard and coarse. And so when we say live on the land like a paleo man, what we're really saying there is live from which the environment that you live in. And so what we did in this program making was really understand that. We also started to understand that people come from different cultures, and that they might have moved to Australia, and all of a sudden their diets changed. And we had to learn how to modify, and I had to learn how to coach people from all demographics and people moving around geographically. And this methodology is just brilliant for that, because it allows someone to stay within their nutritional values. It allows someone to stay in their geographical nutritional values. And it allows people to have freedom of choice through the menu plan. We have two parts of the program. We have a part of the program which is make your own, and then create your own. And create your own is really just make it up for yourself using the 3 columns. And so the reason for this is that the nervous system needs to be supported with these fatty acids. It's a very complex system. But if you treat it as if you were just one nerve, you would see around that nerve there is a fatty myelin sheath. And that myelin sheath needs to be lubricated with good quality, natural omega-3 fatty acids predominantly. It also needs 5, 6, 7s and 9s, but predominantly 3s. And when we see somebody with a well-lubricated nervous system, like oiling you from the inside, what we actually see is somebody who's quite calm. And we see somebody who has the ability to regulate normal body weight. We also see somebody who has great heart health and great brain health. We see them quick-witted. We see them, free thinking and quite intelligent. And, we see their reflexes much better. Then when we see somebody with really good gut health, they might have, every salad they have once a day. They might have a salad once a day. They might have veggies at night time, but they might have a salad once a day. They might put 2 big tablespoons of a gorgeous turmeric sauerkraut, and they might have an array of vegetables on their plates, really helping the microbiome in the gut formulate a happy balance. And then when we see that happy balance, we see happiness. And remember that 60 to 80% of your serotonin, which is your happy hormone, is created in your gut. So if you're going to feed it wheat, yeast, gluten, starch, sugar, etc., and processed foods, processed dairies and things like this, that's going to cause a coagulation, like a thickness over the villi in the gut, and it's going to be choking and have the inability to actually digest good quality nutrition and express that through the lymphatic system and to the blood and the bones and the brain and the skin. And so it's really important to know that when you are thinking about your gut health, you really need to eat lots of plants and lots of foods that are pre and probiotic. So a little bit of fruit, lots of vegetables, and some good fermented foods as well, and good proteins, good quality proteins. And I always say to everybody, whether you eat red meat, whether you eat poultry, whether you eat tempeh tofus, whether you eat nuts and seeds as your source of protein, it's completely up to you. Just feel comfortable in that. And also too, don't always eat the same food. Rotate through. And if you are a big red meat eater, just know that red meat 5 times a week for a man is suffice, and 3 times a week for a woman is suffice. Anymore, it's very hard for the body to process and digest. It's a very heavy source of protein, and although it's very good for you, too much of a good thing isn't a good thing. So I just want to be really clear on that, because I would never want to say, go and eat tons of meat. I think it's very good to mix it up with your fish proteins and your nut and seed proteins. And, even good quality vegan protein powders, and a little bit of red meat and some good quality game meat. By the way, kangaroo is very good for you. And we live here, and there's over 200 million kangaroos in Australia. So, for the vegans out there, I apologise. I was a very staunch vegetarian / vegan for a long time, and flexitarianism is really what I practice now, purely based on the fact that my body needs that. So then the last thing we need to do is really have all those plants in our system, and the system behind it is really eating mostly green, mixing it up between cold, raw and fresh, all the way through to your warm starchy carbohydrates. The rule of thumb is rate 3 greens, 1 starchy carbohydrate, and lots of other variations of good quality light cruciferous vegetables and other vegetables. So when we do this, it really looks like this. This is the simplicity of it. It looks like a palm size full of protein. It looks like, a tablespoon of fat. Now, when I say this, I'm talking about the dressing here, but you could also add your avocado, nuts and seeds to the salad component. And then with your last component, you're looking at 2 big handfuls of salad or 1 very big handful of your heavier vegetables. Or you can have a starchy carbohydrate with lots of veggies. And the rule of thumb in my house is that we always do a green smoothie for breakfast. At lunchtime, we would always do a salad with 3 to 5 greens, and then a starchy carbohydrate like roasted sweet potato, roasted pumpkin. Then we might do grated beetroot, grated carrot, shallots. We might add in then hemp seeds, a good quality olive oil, some lemon juice, some sea salt, some cracked black pepper, and then add a piece of fish to that. Or I would add some, really good quality, goat's cheese or Lebanese cheese, and that would be a really simple salad. I also would add in lots of, fermented veg. So this is really what we do. We teach this in our community or our group of health coaches. So around me are hundreds of health coaches, and this program has been really taught to so many of them, and they've been really teaching this on to other people. And what we love about this methodology is that we see energy within, and it really only takes about 5 days for somebody to get their diet right. And what I love about it more than anything else is that it's so easy, and it takes is this diet right for me? Should I try this diet? Should I try that diet? And it takes all the confusion out of food. And we also teach people where to shop, which I think is fascinating, that we still push a shopping trolley through a big warehouse type facility, down aisles to put cans and jars into a metal trolley. And never before had I really understood this concept until I went back to the farmers market after being away for a very long time, and then really enjoying the space of being out in the sunshine and talking to farmers and handpicking my own fruit and veg, knowing that it was, came from the farm that day, that morning, or it was picked the day before and then brought to market. And so I started to look at where were my eggs coming from, where were my plants coming from, were they organic, were they biodynamic. I started to see that a lot of these farmers at the farmers market just specialised in 1 or 2 fruit and veg, that they knew a lot about this fruit and veg. They would talk about whether it's sprayed or not, whether it had been cold stored, or how it had been managed from picking to the market. And so we started doing shopping tours and all sorts of amazing things with people, and we started to see that the next level of health was accrued. One of the biggest steps you can do for your health is start to shop at the farmers market and get better quality fruit and veg. And the wonderful thing is that people often can think that the farmers market's more expensive, but in actual fact, it's not. When you actually think about the methodology, you think, okay, I'm going to get my proteins for the week. What have I already got at home as well? We need to consider that. And then what plants am I going to feature? So I might feature 10 different veg and 5 different fruit. And then what fats have I already got at home, or do I need to go to the olive oil farmer that is here and go and source some really good quality olive oil? And when you start to do this for a family of 4, the food bill is around $150. And for a family of 2, like myself and my little man, we would sit under $110 unless we're getting some other things, which that always happens because I can't help myself. I just want to try and test everything. But the most amazing thing about the farmers market is that it's an energy that you're in when you're shopping too. And the energy of the shopping process and the curating of the fruits and vegetables and the bringing them home and the washing them and the putting them in the fridge and the planning of the meals, all the way to the digestion, is such a process of happiness. And, being present with food, being grateful for food, spending time outside with farmers and food and thinking about what you're going to make is such a joy. And bringing joy to food brings joy to digestion. And we are what we digest. And so what I love about the farmers market is that it's a lovely place to, really understand where your food's coming from and appreciate the food so much more. The other thing is too, it's always all in season because farmers don't ever bring to market what's not in season because they can't keep it and store it. So this is also something really important to understand. So we've learned about the methodology, we've learned about where to shop, and we've learned about how this could really transform your health. If you have any health concerns, if you would like to spend some more time talking about this methodology, please private message me. We have lots of events that come up all the time. We do lots of lives, we do lots of free coaching and really help people understand how they can plate up themselves. We have a free resource, the How to Plate Up Mini, and that's just a starter pack which actually allows people to have a look at the program a little bit more closely. So we now know that our nervous system, once calm, speaks to our digestive system, and once our digestive system is in full harmony and fed the right foods, that our immune system has the ability to digest nutrition, and the best bioavailable nutrition is everything in the plant kingdom, all the foods that Mother Nature intended us to eat in the first place. And this beautiful, amazing digestive process called How to Plate Up allows these 3 systems to talk to each other and allows vitality to become a part of who you are. And after 7 years of eating this way in particular, and knowing this for the last 11 years and really fossicking my way through this and understanding this, I can honestly say that, it's wonderful to be alive on the planet today. So if you're needing help, we are there to serve you. I'm looking forward to chatting with anybody further. And thanks everyone for coming on. It was lovely to see you on at 6 a.m. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye, everyone.